Hello and welcome to Emerge Wellness. I'm Deanna Lund, and today we're going to be laying down on the floor and working on a little bit about ankle mobility through plantar and dorsiflexion, so basically flex and point, and then working into a little bit more of weight distribution between the legs, so basically peeling the foot off the wall and putting it back on and then going to the other side. And we're trying to do this without a lot of shift or movement through the rib cage, through the back, through the pelvis. And I'm trying to just see where our range of motion is and playing with where our flexion of the hip and where our weight distribution has the most stability. So we're gonna go ahead and find our way onto the floor, and we'll move from there. So come join me, get a little something for your head if you need to. And we're going to find a nice comfortable place for our hips. So sometimes we can't be directly in a 90-degree angle. It feels already tight and sticky for some of us. So for me it does, especially today. I'm just feeling a little bit because I actually haven't done a moving practice. I've been teaching this morning, so we're going to move in this way here. So I'm going to be a little bit away from the wall and moving now through the ankles. So I like to put my thumbs right in the hip crease and just rest my fingers over and taking the tension out of the back or even the abdomen. We want to be the most relaxed we can here at this point. So now we're going to just taking the balls of the feet, we're moving through those ankle joints. So just kind of almost like you're going to feel more pressure of the heels into the wall, and wherever that is for you, it might not be the same for me as mine. And we're just going to keep working through what's called dorsiflexion. So we're going to be very wary of pulling the toes. So this is really hard not to pull those toes back and working only from the toes. We want to really see if we can work mostly through those ankle bones and just feel more pressure into the wall. And again, just notice what happens, right, within the body or the hips even when we do this. It's a nice thing called the kinetic change. So we have this translation up and down when we're moving here. So now we're going to go into what's called plantar. So we're going to peel the heels and go up onto the balls of the feet, right? And as you notice, as I start moving through this range of motion, we're going to be really, again, focusing our movement on the ankles, right? The ankle bone. Also going to feel as we do that, hopefully in taking the heels off the wall, that we feel that the tops of the femurs come into the body a little bit more. Basically, you're going to feel kind of like they're folding over the thumb, right? So we feel that, and as much equality in that movement as possible. And then we're going to start to play with weight distribution. So we'll start peeling that right heel up and maybe coming up to the toe and just noticing. So like right now for me personally, I start to shift my ribs to the right. So I'm just going to keep my toe on the wall and just move within the range of motion that I'm not going to start to borrow and shift. So that's working quite well for me right there. And then I'm going to go to the left. And really we're just going to do this, about 2 to 5 times. This is really just about patterning and repatterning the movement through the hip, the knee, and the ankle, how that translates up and down, without borrowing from the trunk of the body or the pelvis, right? So remember, trunk of the body to me is also including the pelvis, but basically without borrowing anything from here up, front, side, back, right? So just noticing any extra tension. We do not need to contract a muscle to then move, really. I want to come away from that, of contracting then moving. Just want to see where the response is, because the more we contract, the more we hold, the less we really understand where our body is borrowing from, right? It's kind of like a cover-up, sort of like masks a lot of what's happening. So if we can just kind of play with what that range of motion is and feel where that is and where shifts happen, and if they don't happen, feel free, right? So here's a progression to that. So I'll do it even though I know I start to maybe shift, but I'll start to pay attention. If I can relax more and just relax, and then I start to shift, see I didn't shift. So the less I tense my body, and this goes against a lot of things that we have been taught, but play with it, right? The less I tense, the more I feel, right? The more I get that nice
ease. So I have to really watch the tension. I have a tendency also to pull my shoulder blades down when I want to lift my hip. So here for me, so that if you can start to pull that off and get really functional with it, play with it, you're also going to start to see what responds, hopefully, in that action, right, of pulling up. Good. Okay, so have fun with it, and I will see you next time on Teacher Talk Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.